All right, we're gonna be doing something a little different. We're gonna be watching Miiphlet. This is how I would guess you would pronounce this. We're gonna be playing Tracer. This is not a ranked game. This is actually from a 4400 scrimmage. I so people were not familiar from Overwatch One. Overwatch One had like numerical skill rating, right? Versus like it's still broken down into ranks, but like it would show you the actual number as well. So Grandmaster started at 44,000, and then GM so that was GM5. GM4 was 4100. GM2 is 4200. It's 100 blocks. GM3 is 4300. GM4 is 4400. So this is like a GM2 ish level game. It's going to get a little tricky once you're looking at scrimmages. So you could see this as GM2 like GM1. Realistically, I think it's probably closer to GM1, just because scrimmages are just a lot more difficult than regular games. Anyway, I need help with my Tracer, macros, and Junker Queen composition. This is a match for my Scrim block today, which is around 4400. We're currently practicing May Ramatra and Tracer Queen comps. I've gotten the May aspect down, but I need some pointers with Tracer. Despite being one of my mains, I haven't been able to play her that often. That will be directly reflected in this match as I struggle to keep up my teammates despite quote-unquote winning, both macro and micro-wise. From how it felt, I had trouble getting the positions early. I'm either cut out during staging, or I'm too slow to match my Queen's engagement, or slash tracering the Tracer. If there are any Tracer players or coaches who would take a look at this match, I would highly appreciate it, and please ignore the horrible stickies. I was not feeling well today. So, this is going to be interesting for a lot of reasons. Number one is, just to be clear, I don't scrim Overwatch. I did play TF2 super competitively, like at a national level. So I'm like familiar with the general environment of scrimmages and like just sort of that experience. Since I haven't played in Overwatch, I don't know what that's like. But I'm going to talk through some of the reasons, some of the ways this can be different. So when we talk through regular ranked games, I say you can only make the best decision based on the information you have available. And just based on the limits of the game engine, you can only know certain things. So for example, I can only know and hear things that are near me, right? Like for example, if there is a fight that's a duel to the death, across the map, I'm not going to know that because I literally can't hear or see that typically as most characters. But in a scrimmage environment, that's different, because in a scrimmage environment, somebody might call out, oh, so-and-so is low. And so for example, as Tracer, I might burn 2 or 3 blinks to go over there because I know, quote-unquote, like, Genji is 1, right? It's a very common call for somebody to be low. So you're like, oh, Genji's 1, or Genji's absolute. 1 is usually used to mean low, like below, let's say, 35% health. Absolute is like less than, like, 25, like melee health, like less than 30 health. So they might say, oh, like Genji low, or Genji absolute, and then you might suddenly leave your duel with the Tracer to go double or triple blink over there to get a kill because you're trusting your teammate's call. You'd never do that in a rank play. I mean, like, theoretically, it's possible somebody might make that call, but realistically, most games are like silent or almost completely silent, and you're not used to, like, if someone said it, like someone, even people were communicating, I might not even recognize someone's voice, right? If we're playing in a game, in GM game, like, it takes time to learn people's voices, so even if somebody does make a call, I might not know, oh, was that my tank who said that? Was it my support who said that? Was it my DPS who said that? So you might not be able to put that together in your head quickly and figure out where to go. But in scrimmage environments, especially when you're playing the same team over and over again, you get very good at, you get accustomed to learning whose voice is whose, so you know spatially, like, you're tracking where everyone is in your head based on their call-outs and the way you've practiced it and the rotations and a lot of this other stuff. So number one is, there's a lot, the information that you know, the level of expectations is much higher than it is in a ranked game, right? In a ranked game, you're just kind of, like, everything within 10 to 15 meters of you, you should know what's going on. But in a scrimmage, competitive, or I shouldn't say competitive because it's going to be confusing, in a scrimmage environment or organized environment, you should theoretically know everything that's going on. That's like the upper tier limit of, like, just understanding everything that's going on. Does anybody actually know that much? Probably not. But that's like what could possibly be expected. Anyway, that's the first item. The second item is, some of the things you're doing might be might be mistakes in a ranked game, but they are not mistakes in a scrimmage environment, because they might be part of the play call. So for example, you might be put on like a sacrifice play, right, where they're sacking you to try to draw some attention so that they can get an advantage another way. I don't know how often that happens in Overwatch. I would assume relatively rarely, if at all. But like, that is something that happened in Team Fortress 2 all the time, because you had a roamer soldier position who was like, he would like rocket jump in a suicidal play to try to like two-shot the enemy medic, and then even if he doesn't kill, your scouts would follow up and kill the medic, and if their team doesn't have a medic and your team does, you almost always win, because it's just really hard to deal with the sustain. They have Uber, they have Kritzkrieg, whatever it was. So that's an example where, like, in a regular ranked play, you might jump into the enemy team and try to get a kill, and you fail, and we're like, why did you do that? Why did you suddenly go into 4 people? But in organized play, that might have been a call out. Like, that might have been your job, was to initiate that, right? Or, for example, suicide our Tracer to force trance so that our Genji can blade after, right? And, like, in rank play, it might be like, oh, like, is that like, would you know that would have been a follow up? But in organized play, you would know, like, that was the play, and you actually, in fact, did your job. So I'm gonna need to do a lot of guesswork here as to, like, exactly what. Obviously, I am not, don't know this person. I have no idea what their team is like. I have no idea what the callouts are going to be. So I have to do some guesswork as to, like, what is their play, what's their decisions versus what is the team's play, and we're gonna run to that pretty soon at the start. Okay, that's a lot of intro. We're going to jump into this. Before we go any further, I'll note that this game is, like, super one-sided. It's actually 5-0 in the interest of OP. The reason why it goes to 5 instead of 3, because normally it's first to 3, is it's a custom game, and I'm pretty sure that if I had to guess, right, not having done this, I would guess that in scrimmage environments, every point matters. So they're trying to get as many points as they can, or maybe they're just practicing and just going through all the points just for the practice. I don't know. Anyway, let's kind of watch. The first 3 points are, like, somewhat competitive. The last 2 points are total roll, so we're just only going to cover the first 3. So we're going to come out here. So one of the things that OP asked for is talking about macros, right? So macros is less like, oh, how do I win this one fight, like this one duel against the enemy tracer or whatever, which I'm sure OP can break down, and we don't really need to do that. It's really, where do I generally need to be, and what is the pressure I need to be applying to ultimately destabilize the enemy team? Again, at higher levels, no one dies unless they choose to die, right? Everyone, if they're like, I do not want to die, they can walk away and will not die. Like, everyone perfectly understands how to not die. The only way that they die is when you force them into a fight that they're like, I really don't want to. I shouldn't say can't, don't want to walk away from this anymore, because you've destabilized their position where they're getting attacked from all sides, and they're like, look, if we try to leave, we're all going to get picked off anyway, or we're going to give up the point, or whatever it ends up being. And that's when people start dying. It's when they start, basically, you burn through all their options and they die. Like, no one dies with, like, rewind on cooldown at higher ranks. It just doesn't happen. So a huge part of it is, how do I burn out the enemy blinks? How do I burn out their Suzus? How do I burn out their rewinds? How do I burn out their shout? Whatever it ends up being. Like, you burn through everything you got, and then they start dying at that point when they still choose to stay and fight. So the macros will be all around general positioning here, right? Trying to take space away from the enemy team, trying to burn out their resources, trying to trade positively is really important, right? Doing more damage than I'm taking, forcing out more resources than I'm consuming. Really, really important. Okay, so we're gonna go through here. So looking at the setup here, right? So we're looking at blue team. Tracer's gonna step on the point early. I think the Doom's just gonna get blown up here. Yeah, I have no idea what this Doom was thinking. Again, that was like a freebie throw. I have no idea what the Doom was thinking. So strong advantage right now. 4 and 5 or 5 and 4 situation. Going to kill Kiriko. Yep. Lucio tries to stay alive here, which was a huge mistake. This is just continuing the stagger. Right, there's like, he's virtually guaranteed to die here, and he does. And like, if you watch the game, like, again, the first 3 points are like somewhat competitive. It is like so obvious that OP's team is way better than the opposing team. They're, like, some of the fights at the end, they're gonna win where OP dies first, and they still win. But we're coming out here, poking a little bit. Fine. I don't really think that's worth it, honestly. Think about, like, how little damage you're gonna do out here. And you're also burning through your blinks right now, so you're down all 3 blinks. Again, are they probably gonna be back by now? Maybe. But, like, why? You know, like, I don't think this is good value. I think you could just play here, right? Scout out where they're going, right? Call it out, and then be fine. So, in this situation, what's going to end up happening, I think... I'm trying to remember exactly what's going to happen next. So, I think what's going to happen is that we're going to get into an extended fight here. OP's going to fight. It's going to catch a Tracer here. It's going to force rewind, and then get stuck in, like, a 2v1, 3v1 situation out here with no help. So Lucio comes up, you go for it, yep, no big deal. One thing to think about is, I don't think that this second blink, I think the second blink should have been, like, basically back, like you can do, obviously do diagonal blink to avoid being straight in line with the shot, but I don't think I want to be out here, because this is one more blink home, right? If you just go one blink, then you can just get away, but now you did that one blink forwards, right? Well, sorry, 1 blink sideways, then 1 blink back in. So that's 2 blinks out versus if you just came out here, unload the clip, 1 blink back. Realistically, you have no chance of killing the Lucio right now. Nobody else is engaged. Conserve your resources, right? Stay high on blinks. One of the things that would, I think, help is I try to give advice to like DPS and support players from the perspective of the tank. Because as a tank, like I need you to do certain jobs, and I will take care of the other jobs, right? As the tank, I don't need you to pick off the Lucio right now. As like Junker Queen in the situation, this Doomfist isn't doing anything, right? I save Shout for whenever he dives in. We're good. Like we're like totally fine here. Basically, they need to get a pick in order for anything to happen. So I just need you to play safe. I want you to play ultra safe. I don't need you to work anybody down. I don't need you to farm pulse, right? Just play safe. Play super safe. Like we're like much better here at neutral than they are. Looking at their lineup, right? They're running Genji, Tracer, and Doom. We have Junker Queen to completely deflect any sort of dive, right? Just out so strong against that. Right? She sustains herself. Lucio is like super good at staying alive. Kiriko's still good at staying alive. Sojourn needs help, but Sojourn also pokes better than they do, which forces them to dive her, and Lucio and Kiriko presumably are going to save. So I need you to just play safe right now. I don't know if you're getting that feedback from your team. That's something to ask. Like you say here, like, oh, you're having trouble playing your team. Maybe you ask your team, like, what do they need from you, right? Watch the replay with them and ask them, like, hey, what do you think I could have done differently? Because my read right now is you're being too aggressive. I don't want you to have blown 2 blinks right now and be down on 20 health. I want you to be standing right here, full health, with 2 to 3 blinks, ready to figure out like what they're going to do next, and then jump in. But this is going to be a theme, is that I think you're trying too hard to apply pressure. So, look at how this plays out. So presumably, right now, Tracer hears this. Lucio sees this, and the Genji sees this. And so they decide, hey, the Tracer is really isolated, and she just used 2 blinks. The Tracer's going to make a smart play here, and I think she's going to double blink in, and then cut you off. And then everything is going to go haywire from there. Right? There we go. So we see this should be a double blink, triple blink even. 1, 2, yeah, there's the double blink. So she double blinks into you, which you're obviously not expecting, and you get cut off. There's no way your team could have helped you with this, right? They couldn't have stopped the Tracer from double blinking in here, and all of a sudden, you are out of position. And this is what I meant, is if you just play Arch here and play safe, because your team doesn't need you to make a play, you know? For example, if we're playing, like, let's say we're playing Diva here. Like, I'm not saying you're going to do the script, but like, let's say we're playing Diva here and they're playing Zarya. I need you to make a play, right? If I'm the Diva, I'm like, I need my supports to do something because we lose neutral here. But your Junker Queen wins neutral here. So you don't need to do anything. So you playing so aggressively, right, which the enemy team saw, right? They're clearly calling this out because I think the Tracer actually changes direction. Yeah, see? The Tracer's just hanging out here. She's just waiting for the Doom to get ready. Then all of a sudden, you see the ping right now on their screen? Tracer's like, oh, okay. Right? Gets that blink, double blinks in, no fear, because she knows that you're fighting already and she knows she has backup. So this is going to force this out. So you go for this, right? Good shot by the Soldier to keep you alive, and you're going to chase this because she's low, which I understand, but I would also think, wait a second, she's going to rewind behind me, and then I'm not going to have any blinks, and I'm going to have to rewind as well. The problem is that Genji is also chasing you at the same time. So out here, Genji's recognize that you're isolated, because like there's nothing for them to do here, right? Like, they can't dive this. I think you really should have just played safe, which is a common theme to this game. So, now, you're coming in, and you're walking into a double team. Genji's going to dash right away, and you're going to have to rewind very soon, right? You cut that close, which is, fine, right? Then you pop rewind, but now you have no blinks. And this is like, I'm sure you know as a Tracer player, like, basically the worst possible situation, because now you're going to die, right? There's, like, no way you could possibly not die in this situation, right? Everybody follows you down, and then Sojourn stuck back here because Soldier's trying to save you. I think Soldier recognizes. She's like, wait, what the heck? And then I think she realizes, okay, you're actually in trouble here. But then she thinks, okay, hopefully you have another blink here. It would be so weird for Tracer coming back, or my Tracer coming back here and not have a blink. I can understand why she slides away because she would not have expected you to not have a blink there. And then you're going to get chased down by the Genji / Lucio, and then you're going to get killed. So, just like in ranked play, dying first is almost always a mistake. Right? This mistake was forced out by you being overly aggressive and using your cooldowns. What I will note here is, I think that ideally what would have happened, even with your mistake, is that your Kiriko understands, hey, my Junker Queen's full health, she has excellent self-sustain, the Lucio's with her, but my Tracer's out here taking multiple fights at once. I think your Kiriko here should have actually stuck with you, but you see how she drops and follows this? I don't think she should have done this. I think she should have stayed up here to recognize, oh, you're actually low, pocketed you here, and you're good. But she tunnel visions on the Junker Queen, assuming that you're going to live. And this is where, like, who's the mistake? Definitely you're making a mistake here, right? Is the Kiriko also making a mistake? Quite possibly. But I can also imagine your team saying, look, in the Junker Queen Tracer matchup, all the resources are going to be in the Junker Queen, Soldier, and Death Ball. You know, we're going to pour everything into, obviously Lucio's sticking with the Junker Queen the whole time, right? Kiriko might also be like, look, I'm staying with you, you got to come to me for heals. In which case, your job is to play ultra safe. But that's not happening. So either the Kiriko job is split duty, right? Partially helping the Junker Queen, also partially helping you to control the flank, or it's fully your mistake of getting caught out like that. But you certainly get caught in this awkward position, right, which the enemy team exploits, and they're like, hey, what are you doing here? Also, I think that I probably would have just crouched here and hoped that he thought that I blinked away, because at this point there's no angle for me to survive, but you would have been killed by Lucio anyway. Alright, so we're gonna come back. We've lost 2, so we're in stall mode. Like, I don't think I shoot the Kiriko here, because I don't know that you would know that she's taking any damage right now. But she's so far away, you have no chance of getting a kill. And with 2 people on your team dead, you have to be looking for like a lucky one clip. The only one clippable hero here is the Lucio, right? Even ignoring the fact that we don't know that he's at half health, he's the only one clippable hero here. Like, there's no possible way you could one clip the Doom or the Kiriko at this distance. So I would have shot the Lucio first. But you're just stalling out here, which is fine. Alright, just burning clock down. I assume that's the call here. Just trying to stay alive. Yep, fine. Right, this is did the best you could. That's fine. Alright, so they capped. Once again, you seem to be tasked with controlling the off angle, which totally makes sense. And you're gonna get caught out here by the Tracer. Now, the Tracer does a good job. She hides here, and I would assume this is pretty common at higher ranks, or at organized scrim play, that you need to look and check your corners for the situation. Because she's actually gonna go up and do a good chunk of damage to you right away. I am shocked that you did not rewind here, because she really should have killed you right now. So you have 48 health, the Tracer has 66 health and 20 ammo. With equal accuracy, or even slight favor in your advantage, she kills you here very easily. So I am surprised that she does not force this fight, and I'm surprised that you don't rewind. I don't know if this is a high skill thing, or this is like a mistake. You know, like this, theoretically, she should have just killed you right here. Like right now, she's still got 20 ammo. She's like, this is a complete whiff right now, which feels like stress related to like how low she is. But she was ahead of that fight for sure. I think you should have died right now. Like it is crazy ballsy to be holding rewind there, because she whiffed. It's not even like, oh, she hit most of her shots, and I knew I wasn't gonna die. I would understand that. She whiffed like 80%, 90% of the shots there. I don't think that's consistent. I think you should have died. But that's my view. Okay, this is sloppy because you saw the Tracer go to the left, and when you walk up here, the Tracer's gonna wait for you, right? Obviously, we can see through the wall, but I would think, wait, I don't hear the Tracer anymore. And the last time you heard the Tracer was over here, right? You would have heard the Tracer maybe at this point, right? But you know the Tracer's somewhere to the left. So when you come up here, I need to be looking for the Tracer. Why? Well, first of all, I think it's good practice. Second, this Tracer has already demonstrated that she is going to hide, like camp a corner, to try to blow me up. So I don't want to fall. Like, first time, fine. Second time, that's on me. You know, I don't need to rush this. So you're gonna get. I'm also confused why your Kiriko does not turn to heal you here. Does she not have an ALS? No, she could definitely see you right now. Yeah, I think your Kiriko needs to heal you here. This is kind of silly. But in this situation, slow down. I cannot emphasize this enough. Slow down. You have 4 people pushing in, right? Like, nothing's going to happen right now. You don't need to make a play. Your team doesn't need to make your play. Give them time. Soldier wants time. Your team wins the longer this fight goes out. Your chance of winning increases because Soldier's going to build Railgun, and every Railgun is an opportunity for a kill. That's the goal here, right? That's the win condition, not us just running them over. That's not consistent play. But if Soldier can just farms Railgun, they're going to die. They can't, there's no cover on point. They're going to die. So you just need to slow down. But coming out here, right? Coming out here with presumably what you think is surprise, because if you don't have surprise here, you definitely should not be pushing in this hard this early. So presumably you think you have surprise right now, but then you waste it on the Doom. This is never going to do anything. Even if you landed the whole clip, like he's got 2 supports here, he's totally fine. And then you're going to get blown up by this Tracer again. And now you're stuck on point. You're going to miss the stick. And now we've blown through Rewind. So, like, look at it from your tank's point of view. Right? We're coming in. I don't know how well your tank can actually see you. But we're coming in. Right? Fighting. Like, you're coming in, and I'm like, I would look at this and be like, I don't understand why you're here. I don't need you here. Like, if I'm the Junker Queen, I don't need you to kill this Doom. This Doom's not going to die. Right? I don't need you to kill this Genji. I don't need you to kill this Kiriko. I need you to just stay alive and control this corner so we can take this space and walk in. Because I feel really good about our odds of winning this fight. You did almost no damage to the Doom, because he, like, kind of jumped backwards there. And you've blown through all of your health, and you forced Rewind, and now the Tracer is loose. Like, you know, I think you're just pushing. You're forcing the issue way too hard. So Sojourn gets punched here. Genji's got 1 health, right? And you're gonna get killed here. This is a really good flick by the enemy Kiriko. Yeah, that's a really good flick of the enemy Kiriko. But, like, you know, it is what it is. I think your death after that is, like, fine. I think, all things considered, after you botch that assault, I think a reasonable play would have been just to come out here and duel the Tracer. But I don't know if she has... Yeah, she still has Rewind, though. So, like, yeah, I think you just need to play slow, but, like, you really don't have any space to do so. So I think this is... The rest of this is fine. There's not much you can do differently. Alright, you come back in. And despite the fact that you weren't even here, your team is basically going to cap the point. Lucio's already super low. You get that pick for free. You rotate all the way behind. Question here. So after you kill this Lucio, I really want to get up to point right away. Like, I don't... Like, look how long this rotation takes. And look at, like, that's 2 blinks right there. And this is what... Gonna be another... Or you're just shoot from there. So, I don't think you want that to happen. Because now, I want you to speed up. Right? Like, you just killed Lucio. Kitsune is popped. I want you to come in right now. Like, if I'm the Junker Queen, I need you in. Because now I've eaten... Like, taking up all the attention. Now I need that extra damage. So, for you to take this long rotation doesn't make any sense. I don't play Tracer enough to know, but I feel like you should be able to jump and blink this. Like, that seems like that should be possible, right, would be my guess. But if that's not possible, right, either jump, blink, or double blink if necessary, obviously that's going to put you, like, straight in the fray. But I think that's okay here. Because look at like the Tracer trying to finish off the Kiriko here. Like, your team really needs you right now. So I would say either jump and do this blink if that jump is possible, right? I don't know if you need to jump onto the urn and go up, or alternatively just go this way if you absolutely have to. But obviously I think going through this window, like, is the best case scenario. I think this rotation takes way too long. Now, here, I think this can't possibly be anything that is not that other than a mistake. So they don't know where you are because no one's reacting. Why are you emptying a clip from like 20 meters away? On the frontmost target here, who's going to have, what, deflect and dash? Why don't you shoot the Kiriko here? Like, this feels like a big mistake. I don't really understand this logic here at all. Like, this is so low value right now, shooting this, versus shooting the Kiriko. Alternatively, you could have one blinked and then shot the Kiriko, which is almost assuredly going to force a cooldown right away. Then from there, you blink, despite the fact that no one is still looking at you. Right now, you could just reload and you're in good position, but now you're blinked, now you're on the side, so now it's harder to shoot her. Still good tracking there, but, you know, just not the best possible value out of the actions that you had. Right, try to work in the Kiriko. I think you could have thought about rewinding up there to try to confirm the kill. Yeah, now I think you're playing too slowly. Yep. I think the correct call here, she's back up here. Rewind's going to put you right up top and finish the kill in the Kiriko. Because right now, what options is that Kiriko going to have left at this point, right? Oh, she has a Swift Step, she has no Suzu. I think you rewind right there. Or if the jump blink works from here, jump, blink, and then finish her. This rotation is way too long. Right? Like, again, think about it from your tank's perspective. Your poor tank. Right? Your tank's in. Right? Oh god, this aim. Right? She's like in right now. She's popped shout, which hopefully she would, you know... mechanics on the junk queen are not ideal. But, like, she's fighting here for a while. She's missing, like, almost everything. The speed might be messing her up, too. I feel that. But, like, your Junker Queen's in, and, like, she's getting double, triple teams right now. Where are you? You know? Like, you're just taking way too long in this rotation. I think you should have used rewind. Obviously, the rewind, you're not in danger of death, but you're in danger of losing the point. Like, you gotta go faster here. Right? Excellent track there. They're all going for you. You get to the Mega. Alright, reset. Go back. Obviously, not a good track there. So, I was actually curious, because you get popped here at 90, at 94, and I was like, what the heck hit you here? The Doom wrecks you with hand cannon right now. So, that was 60 damage right there with the hand cannon at that range, which is not that consistent. So, you charge Doomfist Punch there, obviously. Yeah. It's just staying alive, that's fine. I think this was incredibly dangerous to try to force this right now. I have my Kiriko here. I have my Lucio here. I am in melee killable or one shot from whatever the heck the gun's called. The sonic gun. Cannon, whatever it's called. One shot of his gun kills you right now. I have no idea why you're taking this fight. This Lucio literally melees you, and you get picked here for no reason, despite having two supports alive. This makes no sense. Very lucky to not die to that. Right? I think the Lucio's just a little better. You die. Like, I know, because Lucio knows that you're low. Alright, so we're going to win this. And then, so, I don't know what you're doing. You're, like, playing super far away from your team in this situation. I don't know if you know where the next point is. I can't remember if it's actually possible to figure out where it is on Flashpoint. Like, Karki was, like, talked about it, I think. Or Yeedle's talked about it. I don't actually know what the algorithm is as to which one it's going to be. But then you just walk up to this Kiriko and get two-tapped. Like, look at it from her perspective. Body shot, headshot. What's happening? Like, what are you doing? I have no clue what the heck. I feel like you're like, oh, let me just poke, let me get some extra damage. But first of all, like, Kiriko's a better poker than you are. Second, like, why are you even taking this fight at all right now? It doesn't trade positively for you at this range, right? And then after you eat that one shot, you have to immediately be blinking right now, or rewinding and getting out of here. But then you just don't respect it at all, and she just two taps you. You're also moving in basically a straight line. I think stuff like this, like, in the grand scheme of things, does this matter at all? No, but in terms of, like, the actual game impact. But one thing that's important to recognize from scrimmages as well as ranked play is the factor of morale. Feeding away stupid deaths to the enemy makes them think that they can beat you. They think that you are human and make mistakes. When you want to win games, right, consistently win games, you want to give the enemy team zero hope of winning. You don't want to screw around. You don't want to like throw a point. You don't want to throw a life. You play as perfectly as you can, and you are relentless, and you give them no opportunity ever to feel good about their play. That's the way that you dominate enemy teams, right? Is you give them not even a hope where they're like, I can't even win one trade. Like, forget about a kill. I can never even trade positively for damage. That's how you want to make the enemy feel if you want to win the most you possibly can. This just makes the Kiriko feel like, wow, this Tracer doesn't know what she's doing. And now she feels positive about her possibility of beating you in the future and taking future fights and winning against you. And conversely, it might make you feel worse about taking fights against the Kiriko in the future because you just got two-tapped by her. So yeah, all in all, not good. All right, next point. I don't even know what these points are called. This is, once again, an example of, hey, are we going too early right now? Because, like, your team's on point, you're really isolated,
honestly, I think the best call here is everyone just rushes you down because your team already has control of point, right? There's no way they're going to stop this cap. It's going to be some sort of like delay. Like your team's going to cap and it's going to take a while and then push out and maybe they win eventually, or they can just kill you right now, right? Follow you through, force rewind, follow you through rewind and kill you depending on how far back the rewind is. Then they 5v4 point and then it's an easy win. I don't know why the team doesn't just bum rush you right now because you were just shot right here and gave away your position. They decide to go anyway. Kiriko double taps your Sojourn, right? So lucky right now, you go in. So lucky that you know they ended up not choosing to attack you, but they did get a pick anyway. So see, you're clearly afraid right now of the Kiriko two tapping you, right? You're like so afraid, like you blink right there, but like, did you even need to do that blink? So she missed that one. Yeah, you need to reload, but you only have one blink right now, so I'd be fairly stingy. She hasn't hit the body shot yet. So I could potentially wait here until she hits a body shot or a headshot, then blink, pick up the mini, and then continue fighting, right? Or rewind or whatever I want to do. So I to some extent, you want to really force them to hit that first, at least the body shot, right? If not the headshot there. So she's doing a much better job. This Kiriko basically solo zones you, right? Because as you come up here, first of all, you use that blink because you're scared. Because she just two-tapped you previously. So you're scared. Then she understands. She feels your fear. Like, I can feel this as the Kiriko. She feels that you're afraid of her. Right? And then she takes these close angles where it's really hard for you to react, which is exactly what she should be doing. Right? She, you know, and she attacks. And then you get like, pushed off. Like, yeah, you're, like, distracting her. But other than that, you're, like, giving almost no other value. But your Lucio does die here, right? So you lost Sojourn, you lost Lucio here, right? And now you're like decide to leave, which is fine. I think this is the right call at this point. But I'm noticing like the feel here that you versus the Kiriko, like the Kiriko feels like she's like I'm better than you, and you never want to give people that feeling. You never want to give people hope that they can beat you, if you can help it, obviously, right? Which is why it's really important to not make like stupid decisions. I don't think this is worth like this is a long angle jiggle peek. This is a super wide peek right now to be taking. And now you took damage, and now what? You're not going to rewind 50 health. But without this, like what? You got to burn a couple blinks to go back to the Mega, or you walk back to the Mega and you spend more time setting up. I think this is unnecessary. Like, they're going to be here. You can hear them here. You don't need to do anything right now. Like, this is totally unnecessary chip damage you just took. So you have to go back and take the Mega. All right, we're back here. We got all three blinks, but now we don't have a Mega if we end up needing it. Looking for it. So once again, where's the Tracer? We don't know where the Tracer is. So I'd be looking around to be like, hey, where's the Tracer? Because the Tracer has a really strong penchant for like sneaking up on you and blowing you up. All right, you get Mini, and then from here, you take the Mini. So I understand. I think this was fine. I would have played inside corner right now because you can hear her on the right? Play inside corner here and then force her to make a move. But instead, you blow another blink. But now you have no blinks. Like, you're out of options at this point in time. Now you're just a regular walking hero. And then she knows that. Right? So, oh, it's the Genji who blows you up. Right, so Genji blows you up. Because I think he knows you don't have any blinks, right? Yeah, he sees it. So now he can just chase you down freely. And now he forces rewind, looks for you. Right? Now he's attacking you, and now you're gone. Right? Like, your impact is so low. You're so early. Right? Like, I was starting to think of how to describe this. You're like too early. You're not tracking the Tracer. You're not taking the duels well. And it's a shame because I watched your Mei gameplay. Your Mei gameplay looks fantastic. It looks like way better than this. Like your Mei gameplay literally looks like 5 ranks higher than your Tracer gameplay. Because like I'm just not feeling this from your Tracer gameplay, like what I would kind of hope from this level of play. But anyway, Beat gets popped. So with Beat getting popped, what do I want to do here, right? So Beat gets popped. I just want to focus on my aim, right? I have 850 health. I don't need to dodge. I don't need to blink. I just want to shoot the Genji or the Lucio here. Okay? Just be totally calm. The Tracer, like, one clips all 250 damage plus. That's fine. I'll eat it. As long as I'm able to also trade out for like 150, 125 damage, I'll take it. You don't need to dodge right now. Just focus on aim. Just focus on aim. Yeah, so we don't really get any targets here. You blink out. I would note that the Genji is behind you right now. Like, you heard and saw him dash. Like, right here. He's right there. I don't think you see him, right? You still hear him jumping around behind you. I don't know why you're not turning for the Genji. Like, help your soldier against the Genji. What the heck? What is this? Oh, man, that's rough. Alright. Team wins the fight. Again, you're not doing a whole lot here. Right? Which is not to say that your tracking isn't good. I think your tracking is not the problem here whatsoever. Like, you have some excellent, like, tracking aim here at moments. But it's just, like, the types of fights you're taking. Like, the fight quality is poor. So, another good example of why are we taking this fight? Right? This is just an ego challenge. I don't need to be taking this fight. Like, she has all of her team here. There's no way that she's going to die here. I can't even force resources here. The best thing I can force is one blink out of this Tracer. There's no world where I can possibly force a rewind here. I don't need playing here. I'm so far away from cover. Just play here. Just chill. Play here. Play here. Like, just be able to see the rotation. That's all you got to do right now. Right? Don't get poked down, especially since your team is clearly, like, deathballing over there. Like, you're not getting any health. Now you're at 131. That's like 20 health that you're missing. That, like, how are you going to get it? And once again, you're way too far out. They do the exact same plan, right? They first... Oh, thank God, I can finally zoom out without it breaking. So they first attack this way, okay? That forces you to sit here. Then they loop around and they catch you from behind. It was the exact same thing on the first point, right? That's what you need to be watching here, because again, as your team, we have control of the point. We beat them in neutral. Literally, just don't die. Don't die. Don't get rewind forced. If I had to give keys to you, if I was the rest of your team, I'd be like, that's all you got to do here. I don't need you to get any picks. I don't need you to hold back the trace or anything like that. Just literally play safe. Is all you can do. Just play your life. Right? Now you're caught out. You blink away from the point. Right? Now you have to go over and get the mega, and now you're coming back in. But that means this is time where your team can get 5v4'd. You're lucky the enemy team is just not as good, right? Tracer blows you up right now. Now you're forced to rewind. Tracer misses stick. You're sitting in the mega. I think playing mega here is a good call, right? Because it kind of hopefully makes... They don't know that you're taking the mega, though they should. I don't know what the heck does Lucio's think you're trying to duel you there at that distance. And you'll notice that your team has basically won right now without you already. So right now should have been a stick. This is a pretty easy stick right now. At your level, I would expect you to have landed this stick. Like, you even have time to melee him. Like, this is an easy stick. You saw him blocking, not facing towards you. Honestly, if he faced towards you, I would still stick him because he's going to die, like, if he turns towards you. Actually, I don't think stick applies the directional damage anymore, so I think he's dead no matter what. But I think that's an easy stick. You didn't even try. Like, if you tried, you missed it, fine. But you didn't even try for it. But let's think about this. Okay, so Tracer's over here. She's at half health, but she's really far away. I have a Kiriko at point blank who's not dodging me. Just one clipper. Oh, what the heck is this? Right? Why am I wasting ammo shooting the Tracer? Right? So we're going to reload here. Blink forwards. This Tracer is, like, maybe the damage will matter, but the Kiriko here is a way juicier target right now. This is either, like, going to be a kill or a cooldown forced. Like, virtually guaranteed. But instead, I'm trying to shoot the Tracer who's not even, who's, like, through the wall even. Now I finally start taking the fight against the Kiriko. And of course, emboldened by previously, she's like, oh, okay, maybe I can take this fight. She swift steps. Right? And then that's going to be the end of this point. Honestly, I think I'm actually good holding there. I don't think there's actually a need for me to cover a third point. Because I think it's going to be more of the same. So, overarching thoughts. I think you need to coordinate with your team as to where the resources are going, their support resources are going, right? In your Junker Queen lineup, based on what we sort of observed so far, it appears that your Kiriko and Lucio are going to be attached to the hip of your Junker Queen, which is fine. Like, it's obviously super effective, right? Like, the enemy team basically cannot kill, like, your supports and your tank. So, like, that's fine. But if that's the call, you should expect I'm never going to get, like, your Kiriko never swift steps to you the entire game. As far as I'm aware, right? So, like, certainly in the two points that we saw where you definitely could have used it at some point in times. Your Kiriko is not, hey, I'm going to go off angle with you and apply pressure. That's not the style of your Kiriko / your team. Intentional or not, that's not what we're seeing. So your team is like, look, we got the death ball where we got these 4 playing together. You're on your own tracer, which means they expect less impact from you because you're not getting healing resources. Conversely, that means that you need to play safer, which is fine. Like, if you look at your fights with the enemy DPS, how often are there Lucios or Kirikos coming by to save them? Fairly often, right? Especially Lucio comes by to assist. So, like, that's part of their, intentional or not, game plan of the enemy team is to help out. So, like, you forcing like a second person to come out rotate is great as long as you don't die for it, right? Or get completely peeled by what they're doing. And like that, I think that's what's happening a lot. This is what's also tough. It's like you still win the game 5-0, right? So like, is your play like really that bad? Like maybe what you're doing in the grand scheme of things is actually good enough. It doesn't feel that way to me though. Like it feels like you can get comparable impact just by slowing down a little more, being a little more patient, looking for the enemy tracer, right? Looking for hiding heroes in general, just to be careful about it. And expecting less resources from your team by playing safer and not being super far away from your team sometimes unnecessarily. Okay, I'm gonna hold there. This still ended up being like 40 something minutes to review. Hopefully this is helpful.